Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. You all who have joined us from different time zones. I am Sarvan Raja, OTT Practice Head at Tata Elxsi. Welcome you all to this webinar on redefining user engagement. User engagement is not a new practice. It's been changed over the period of time. Technology has enabled it. Demands in the market has refactored it over the period of time. Service provider being equipped with tools to better connect with their end users. In this webinar, let's explore the importance of user engagement in OTT world. Globally, if you see, OTT market is growing. Currently in 2023, from 61 billion, it is estimated that it will grow up to 130 million in 2028. Major trends that is driving this growth are all artificial intelligence, which is used across content value chain, whether it's related to content creation, managing those content, or tracking the effectiveness of that content. Immersive streaming technologies are bringing life to the content. 5G enhancing the user experience anywhere on any device. Big data with a lot of insights enabling business growth. With hyper personalization, customer satisfaction are getting improved. OTT aggregation provides faster content discovery and contextual and targeting advertisement, enabling advanced monetization. With the growth in OTT market, there is a growth in number of OTT apps available in the market. So do the competition between these apps. We see in US market, the big four dominates the TV-based video streaming. 79% of time spent in watching OTT service is with these big fours. Now, if you see, when we interact with CTOs across the globe, we come across three fundamental questions. How do I know what user consider valuable for any app, the content, what type of content, what type of subscriptions, what type of service features is valuable for end users? How do I make user spend time on the app? More the time they spend, they will discover more, they will able to be more satisfied and in turn brings growth. How effective is my communication to the end user? These are some of the fundamental questions we come across. Now, in digital world, digital medium enables a lot of connections with users. Through these connections, a lot of data is available. Either these connections, whether it's through social media or individual platforms gathering this information, or through specific advertisements and surveys. We get a lot of information, a lot of data from the end users. With this lot of data, a big question comes in: how effective is this data can be utilized by service providers to engage in a very meaningful way with the end users? To explore this, to understand this more, let's uh, let me welcome Clint, who is product manager at Tata Elxsi. Hi, Clint. Uh, Welcome to you in this show. You've
Uh,
been interacting with OTT providers globally, helping them to utilize the available data effectively to connect with their users and growing the business for them. Once again, welcome you, Clint.
Thank you so much, Raja. And I'm really happy to be here in this session. Um User engagement and customer experience is very uh, topic which is very close to my heart, and I'm really looking forward for this session and conversation with you. Thank you.
Yeah. Great, Clint. Then let's start first by understanding what is user engagement.
Yeah, and just to rally back to your three important questions, and because those are primary questions which have been asked across the board, not just from the CXO perspective, but across the business functions into different domains of businesses, right? How do I improve the customer experience, which entails increasing customer engagement also, right? What you've seen is every consumer, at least from a video perspective, have always want a special and personalized experience watching a video, right? And that has become a very differentiating factor for businesses to succeed or not to succeed, right? And marketers also have found themselves in the front battlefront in this, improving the engagement, improving the customer experience, right? And user is the heart of that entire business strategy. There was a very interesting study which also was done among the group of people, and what came out as an insight was 73% of those consumers said uh, good experience is the key in influencing them to be brand loyal, and that's a very good insight. So services now have always understood that it's imperative to deliver the right personalization, and that too at a scale. That's very important, right? But however, as a customer life cycle spans across multiple different touch points, right? Different experiences, different media, different medium, it gets really difficult to analyze their behavior. And I believe that this is where the customer engagement platform comes into picture and fills the gap, because it helps you to engage customer in those specific journeys, understand what they're doing in those various touch points, and so on and so forth, right? In today's landscape, I believe any digital business, along with their traditional regular promotions, very important to arrest the dropouts. And I believe user retention is also very critical business metric which everyone looks at right now. So reaching out to the consumer is very important at various critical touch points, and I think user engagement platform helps you do that, right? Let's look at the nutshell. What is user engagement platform? So user engagement platform is nothing but having a meaningful creating and having those meaningful connections with the end consumer, right? So what can you do with that? You can create segments and audiences for you to personalize communication to them, cater various content recommendation to them, and then track the effectiveness of those communications of various touch points, right? And which is layered upon by marketing automations with real-time engagement to the users. For example, if a user is registering on your platform, and if there's an instant gratification given to him in terms of notification or the messaging saying, hey, thank you for onboarding and etc., that's a customer delight, and that's what the customer experiences customers are looking for. And this user engagement platform also has to have a omni-channel business strategy, because the users are fragmented. They're not coming on to one single application. They're everywhere, right? So user engagement platform actually helps you build that relationship. Just to even just to dig a little deeper, from a traditional marketing strategy, which was a funnel tracking and so on and so forth, right? New gen marketeers and growth hackers are actually come up with a new methodology. It's called a loop methodology, where engagement drives stickiness, stickiness drives retention, and retention drives growth. And this is a loop, right? And that circle has to be complete, and it's very important for any business team. So UAP actually helps you manage all of that, right? That's your it helps you create user acquisition, customer acquisition. It helps you retain those users, because acquiring a user is a very expensive task in this world, right? And user retention becomes a very critical aspect for that. Then it also helps you to improve opportunities as a business, because you have your current existing users, you are acquiring users, so you also know what are the various areas where you can improve your businesses and grow your businesses also. And then it also enters into brand loyalty, right? Like we see, like we saw, if there is stickiness, it's retention. Retention means conversion, and conversion means the brand loyalty there. And it also gives you a competitive edge in that sense. And when I say competitive edge, because content is everywhere, right? And user will jump from one content provider to another content provider, and that's where I think a good content recommendation, a good content strategy, which is flavored with good customer experience and user engagement, is a key there. Karunajan.
Yeah, yeah, indeed, engagement drives stickiness, stickiness drives retention, and it drives the growth. So ultimately, growth is important for, the entire businesses, and how these tools helps this growth plays a very important role, in the entire value chain. Great. Yeah.
True, true, true. Then the fundamental question comes in, this is all good, but who can use this? Is it this the marketeers who use this tool or platform, or is it the growth hackers? Who are the actual audiences of this, right? And I believe this tool can be used across business function. It's not just marketing team, right? It can be used by the product team also. It can be used by the marketing team. Obviously, those are the primary uh, use case there. And then the leadership team, and what can they do across this business functions in each of these teams, right? Let's take a few examples. uh, User engagement platform can be used as a testing platform itself, like where product team can run A/B testing, test their features, which before even getting as a mass production into the market, right? They can take up a feature, create an audience segment, test that feature against that feature, another flavor of that feature with B segment of that audiences, right? And that gives the product team also confident pushing those features to the end consumer with a lot of data and insights, right? So that becomes a very important use case apart from the normal funnel tracking, which is a hygiene there, right? Then from a marketing perspective, sending out personalized notification communication to different user properties, like whether it be static, liquid, and so on, so forth, that becomes a very important arsenal to have in the kitty. And to complement that, then you obviously have their usuals like churn management, retention management, and to track the entire customer life cycles as a whole. And from a leadership perspective, yes, you can track the key business objectives and key business metrics and do an analysis on top of that. So this platform enables you to do that. From a key metric perspective, what can be those, which can be tracked on regular basis? Your churn rate can be one. Improving conversion rate could be another, right? Arresting drop-offs can be the third. Obviously, there is a session duration increase and improvement in promoter scores eventually.
Yeah. So definitely, yeah. Any product that is getting into the market, the product team or business or technology team, everyone would like to understand the success of it, whether it will be successful, whether it will be adopted by the end users, whether it investments is really useful. If some tool can give that analysis, can give that insights, it helps a lot in putting right efforts in the right direction. Yeah. And this metrics is indeed a lifeline for continuing the business and the growing those business. Okay.
True,
and
agree.
and having said that, we using engagement platforms, we can segment the user, profile the user. Now, big question is, what are the channels which are available, you know, to communicate or connect with end users through these engagement platforms?
That's a very interesting question, Raja, because if you see the audiences today, there's a mix of audiences, consumers from millennials to Gen Zs, right? And their presence on digital media is very fragmented. They're everywhere, and their interaction patterns also differs from one media to another. The way they interact on TV versus mobile phone versus social media is very different, right? And it's very important for service providers to be there where our consumers are, because that is the personal connect which will be created. If you're not there, then it's become very difficult. uh, so communicating and engaging with those users, specifically in that context where the user is very crucial for any positive outcome to happen, right? So when we talk about user engagement platform, it's basically a multi-channel platform which includes your application, end consumer application. So if you're a OTT platform, it could be your handheld devices, 10-feet devices, or any of those, right? Um, and to support that or to peripher that, then you have your other engagements where the customer can reach out to you, which could be in form of a live chat or a video chat and so on and so forth, right? This could be in terms of a query, grievances, or just information which they're seeking for, right? And then there is a second base, which is your social media channels, which is outside of your application. So these are the various touch points where the consumers can reach out to you or can interact with you. And this is the business opportunity where businesses can, create influences or create those loyal base for their platform. Just to dig a little deeper, when we talk about channels, specifically in terms of the IP applications, you have your regular conventional methods, right? Or mediums, which includes email and SMSs. And now you have your push notifications and in-app notifications, right? But this is on the platform or peripheral of the platform. What about which is not there on the platform, which is outside of the platform? That's also an important factor where we need to reach out to those consumers in terms of, can we reach out to them on WhatsApp? Can we reach out to them through social media, let's say Facebook or Instagram, or let's say in form of a chatbot where there's a direct and very interactive connections with those consumers, right? So UAP actually helps you achieve all of that.
Yeah, definitely yes. Clean Generation X is well much connected with these tools. These tools are becoming a lifeline for them. So how to interact with these mediums, channels, get more insights, and they feel excited that when some personalized information is coming to them and using these mediums. Yeah, and not only Gen X, I believe even all generations are now catching up with these tools. We see a lot of access of WhatsApp. We see people are into Facebooks, Twitters, and all sort of different platforms which is available as a social media to connect, interact. They are there, and glad that these tools are readily available for any service providers to connect with their end users also, which could be specific to their content or their businesses. Yeah. Good.
Yeah,
Now we know about this, yeah, platform. Now we know about what it can do. So can you give us some insights on what Tata Elxsi does in this space?
yeah, surely. Just to give you an overall context from an engagement perspective, I'll try to cover little on a higher level. As you know, Tata Elxsi expertise in various vertical, right? One of them is media and communication. One of the product which we work on is T Play. Now, what is TPlay? TPlay is an end-to-end video platform which has all the bells and whistles and very important core modules to drive any OTT platform. For example, if you are a content producer, if you have content or you are a content aggregator, and you want to launch your OTT platform in any geography, TPlay actually helps you do that. Because if you see, if it has modules like customer content management system, it has a subscriber management system, which helps you manage your content catalog and the subscriber base, along with other monetization opportunity like subscription and so on and so forth, right? Then you have your UI layout manager, which is called UI Genie, which helps you to manage all your front end devices, which includes personalizing your home screen, or personalizing your bands, or rails, banners, and so on and so forth. It actually helps you to manage all your front end applications, right? And this is then intelligently flavored with our two modules, which are IntelliPlay and ULike. IntelliPlay is our analytical and data platform, which drives all the insights. It collects all the information about the content consumption, content, how the content is getting distributed, how user is interacting with those content, watching those content, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of insights and data in that platform, which is driven, and that data is then pushed to our recommendation engine, which is called ULike, right? And that powers your personalization from a content strategy perspective, right? So that's a very holistic ecosystem, which is then connected to your front end applications, and we have around 12 pre-integrated front end applications. When we saw all of that, and when we were interacting with the end consumers, and when we were brainstorming about customer experiences, user engagement, and that's where we thought this is a very good opportunity uh, to do something about it, right? And that's where we developed our own user engagement platform called EngageX. Okay. Now, what is EngageX? EngageX is basically a omni-channel marketing tool, where the uh, business team, marketing, or the growth marketing team can reach out to their audiences in multiple channels, be it your on-app, in-app, or outside of the app mediums, right? And this is all driven by data and AI. Like I said, at heart of it, everything is data for us through IntelliPlay, and that data actually powers this engine, helps you create intelligent user segment, drive marketing automation intelligently, and so on and so forth. So it's a very exciting time to be and developing this right now, and we're looking forward to grow.
Yeah. Great, Clint. Looking at this conversation, it I feel that it may not be limiting to a media kind of engagement. It can be extended to any industrial vertical, where we want to engage with the end users. It could be e-commerce, or it could be medical, or it could be, transport. Any industry, it can be used. What is your view on that?
Yeah, absolutely. You bang on. Engagement is not limited to video, right? It's across all digital domains which you see. Like you rightly put it, it could be e-commerce, it could be medical, it could be infotainment in cars and everywhere. User engagement is by default plans across all domains, right? And the beauty about this engage access is it's not limited to videos. It can be the end use case can be anything. It can be plugged into a e-commerce portal. It can be plugged into a delivery portal, like a food delivery portal, or delivery service, and all together. So yeah, the end use cases are unlimited there, basically.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's good to know that. And now the question is, how does it work? Yeah. So how these systems works? Uh,
Yeah. So there are three important components for EngageX. Okay. The first piece is the data collection of it, because that's the heart and the mind of the system. Okay. Now, what this does is uh, every user interaction which user does with your application, it records it in form of an event. And there are other backend systems, let's say your CMS, SMS, those are plugged in into this data systems. We have our T Analytical SDK, which sits into the end consumer applications, read this all information. Obviously, this is all driven by user consensus and all of that, right? So all the necessary policies are in place. So this once this SDK reads that information, it processes it in a way, or structures in a way that our the EngageX module reads it. Once is the data is ready, there is a graphical user interface where the marketing team or the go-to marketing team or any business user for that matter can go to the portal, create a campaign. That's the lingo basically for any communication which goes out to the consumer. It's called campaign, right? Creating a campaign there, then creating in audiences for that campaign, then mapping that campaign to those target audience segments, right? And schedule it, reschedule it, edit it, etc., etc. So the entire campaign management is handled there. That's one. Second, it also helps you look at the various data points, like what is a campaign performance was it successful, did you achieve the goals which were set for, and so on and so forth. So that entire reporting data analytics piece is layered inside that portal. And the third piece is the message delivery system service, which actually delivers the message to the end consumer application. Okay, so the same SDK which you see, T Analytics, has two objectives. One, to collect the data, then through the MDS, it fetches the notification or the communication, renders it on the front end application. So that's the three key important components of EngageX. Just to dive a little deeper, what are the core functionalities of the platform is basically, first is the campaign management. Like I said, in the campaign management, you can create the campaigns, you can schedule them, and you can very well automate them uh, from a campaign perspective, right? Second is the audience management and targeting. This helps you to create meaningful audience segmentations, create a targetable base, understand the user, what sort of user you have on your platform, and then club it and cluster it, and so on and so forth. So that's a very important model inside EngageX. Then we have the MDS. We have SDK developed for Android, both handheld and 10 feet devices, varying across mobile, tablets, and televisions, and so on and so forth. And same goes for the iOS. And we also have mechanisms for other instruments like RDK boxes and webhooks to deliver notification on web clients as well. And the fourth very important factor, like I said, is data analytics, where user consumption data, interaction insights, campaign performance metrics is shown and given there, right? Uh, Having said all of that, right, what is important is when we saw reaching out to the audiences, right audiences, makes sense. See, when you send out a communication, it can't be a broadcast today. You have to reach one on one. You have to make that personal connect with the end consumers, and I believe EngageX helps you do that. The way you can slice, understand your users is very very interesting. You can understand your users through demographic information, what gender, what age, what income group, and so on and so forth, right? Then you can understand your users from which location they're coming from, what is their geographical status, which country, which state. You can even go to your city level, right? Region level to the city level, that's very important information to have to create your clusters of audiences. Then you have your behavioral pattern. What is my user doing? When is he coming? What is the day parting behavior? What is he watching in the morning? What is he watching in the evening, night? What is he purchasing? What is he watching the videos at a specific season? What sort of content he likes? So all sort of behavioral patterns you can understand and segment those, right? Then you have your psychographic information, intent of what he can like, predicting it, what he might like, what might he not like. So this engine or this module helps you to even come up or identify those users basis those psychographic information, right? And then you have your usuals, the technographic basis, your device, which device they're coming from, what are the device patterns, and then the transaction which they are doing on the platform. Right, let's take some examples. Right, once you have, now you have the systems, you know how to target the users and identify them, and what are some examples what you look at, and some interesting examples are here, few of them is, from a new content promotion perspective, any platform which comes in, reaching out to the right audience with the right content promotion is very key. For example, Raja likes to watch sports, right, and Clint is a movie buff. Having those new content promotions sending to right is very important. So when there's a movie, you can target those movie promotions to Clint. But when there is a live match, or a specific sport which Raja likes, sending the right communication to them with the notification, be it push notification, be it email, SMS, and keep reminding them to come back, is very important. Right? And this tool actually helps you do that. Now this talks of, this is an example from promotion perspective, but it also enables you to do a marketing automation. Right, for example, there's a new user, like we take an example earlier. If there's a new user, and if you want to instantly convert him from a registered user to a paying user, you can always have those small gratification given to them. As soon as I register, or any user register, you can send a push notification saying, hey, thank you for onboarding with us, thank you for having a relationship with us, here's a small token of love from us, and you can give some offer for him to convert from non-paying registered user to a subscriber user. So this tool also helps you, enables to do that, right? And then there are various automation, marketing automation you can do. Uh, Subscription reminder is one, right? Your subscription is about to end, and you keep reminding the consumers at the right time. And obviously, it has to be equated with the intelligence of how many you send it. But yeah, you can send those and keep them on the platform with small goodies basically. So yeah, all of that, the use cases are there, and the use cases are humongous for you to explore as a marketer.
Wonderful. It sounds very, very magical, from your, theme creations to segmenting, dicing, the data, bringing it to a meaningful manner, and ultimately, both the parties, service providers as well as the end consumers are benefiting from this engagement, connections, correct? Definitely, it will be very complex kind of thing. So, like to understand how easy it is to use this platform for anyone who is getting this. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So when this idea was floated, the baseline thought when we were designing this, we always thought it has to be minimal. Like any user from across the business function, when he lands on the experience and wants to manage this communication, like it should be understandable from time he lands on the landing screen. So the philosophy of minimalism went across, not just in UI design, but the entire workflow journeys as well. So once you land, if you are able to see the screen also, right, the dashboard is very clean, uh, and it actually is very self-explanatory what are these components are. So on the left hand side you have your key menus, and which are very simple. There are only three, and there's a fourth one which is the admin setting. One talks about the dashboard, which is the campaign performance and other matrices. Then the campaign itself, and within the campaigns there are various information which is given to the business user. And then the third part is the user segments. This is where you create your audiences, understand them, draw insights, and so on and so forth. From a campaign perspective, if any marketer wants to set up a campaign, there are three basic fundamental blocks on this landing screen. One is to draw a quick insight, a quick executive summary to understand how each of those campaigns are working, which are already scheduled for it, right? And this could be weekly, monthly, for a specific duration. And then there is a campaign setup, which are already a ongoing campaign, which can have various status. Scheduled is one, which are recurring one. There's a deployed one, which is which is already given or which is already successfully deployed to the end consumer devices. And there are other states also, just for an example sake, right? Let's create a campaign. Creating campaign is very simple. You click on this button which is there on the right hand side, right? Once you click on the button, you come to this interface, which basically is again very simple to understand. You have your channels, which we call a notification type on the left hand side, which you choose from. So we have push notification, push notifications, and other various channels which we saw on the earlier slides. So the business user just selects that specific channel. Once the channel is selected, basis the channel, the contextual information, campaign information screen is loaded. In the campaign information screen, there are very few information which we ask. It's very simple. One is a campaign name. This is for the internal tracking. Then there is a campaign title. Campaign title is nothing but the information which is received at the notification of the end consumer devices. Right. For example, this is push notification, and you're creating example, hey, India versus Pakistan is live now. So that title becomes the campaign title here, which the end consumer sees. Then the small description to a marketing hook to him to get on the platform, and which is complemented by the image and the deep link where you want to take the end consumer as a end destination goal. Very simple flow. Once you set up all of this, this is where the actual magic happens. This is where the whole configuration is done. Now divide it into two parts. Now one is the campaign scheduler, which we say. So you can create campaigns which can be managed in multiple ways. One, you can do it like it's like a create and fire, right, and forget. So basically it's one time campaign you can set up. You can do a recurring campaign at a specific duration time interval. You can keep sending notification to the consumer without any intervention, so it's all automated, right? So there are various ways of scheduling campaigns there. And once you set up your scheduler for your campaign, this is where you uh, target or select your audience segment. Now this is very interesting. When we talk about creating audience segmented, you think about a very complex analytical dashboard. I need to run some queries, I need to draw some, fire some SQL methods and so on and so forth, right? For this we had made it very simple. It's few fields which is pre-integrated and which is completely developed and powered by our AI engine. So, for example, if you want, let's take an example. If you want to create a campaign for all the, cricket buff between ranging of age of 18 to 35, who in last 60 days had watched any cricketing event or sporting event, you can quickly go here, look at those parameters, select those, user traits, and create a campaign. So you can create a campaign basis gender, the age, the time of duration he was there on the platform, which app version he was, which OS version he was, and then as simple as a drop down field or a search field, and it makes very easy or simple for the marketer to create that targeting audiences on the platform. And once you do that, it's just saying okay, fire, and then the campaigns are created. It's simple. And once the campaign is created at the scheduled time, the campaign is then received at the front end devices to the end consumer. So if you so yeah, so rallying back, if you see the entire workflow, the entire journey of creating a campaign and managing campaign is we kept it very easy and simple for anyone to use.
Great. So it'll see most of the times this platforms will be used by non-technical people because it's related to business, related to engaging with the customers, uh, related to doing marketing promotions. Correct. So really, indeed, it is very important to keep the user interface, the tool operations very simple, right? So it's a great thing to know that it's very simple to use. One of the important questions that comes from seeing these dashboards is every customer will have their own uh, requirement to change, customize, or modify. So how flexible is it for you to do that? So whatever you have shown as a dashboards.
Yeah, true. And that was also our, thought process while we were doing this, right? That's a very important point which you made, Raja. Traditionally or generally, if you see any other platform or direct competitors also, most of them are SaaS-based models. Uh, what challenges we saw them there is any customization which the consumer has to make, it has to be aligned with the product roadmap, and that hurts a lot, because there are always milestone benchmark where any customer from a business standpoint always look at. So what we did was we made this as a private deployment solution. So any customer is going to take this, it's be going to be owned by them. Any customization which is required for their business critical use cases will can be made very easily, and which is independent of any other deployment which is happening in the market, right? So that gives a upper hand to the customers to make any changes to the platform basis their business needs and requirements.
Great. With that note, Clint, I believe it's time for taking a few questions from the audiences. Let's see what we have from our audiences. Yeah. Uh, yeah. First question. Let me take this. Do you have A/B testing capabilities? Uh, Clint, I believe you might have, yeah, answered it, but maybe you, for the audience point of view, can repeat it.
Yeah, sure. Yes, yes. A/B testing capabilities are there from a product standpoint. So what a product team or any business team can do is, if they want to launch, let's say there's a big feature which is going into the market, especially where which is customer facing, they can to have two versions of those feature, and that two features can be tested um, with separate audiences and draw insights, and that insights and the interactions and how they're consuming those features data can be pushed back to our analytical platform, which is IntelliPlay, and through that you can derive which users, what was the uplift, how is the feature performance, what is the preferred way of that feature implementation, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that functionality is there, and that's a very important key aspect, especially when you pointed out that monetization and money is very important when building such features, right? And having a critical A/B testing in place is very important factor.
Great. Yeah. Thanks. So let's see what next question is. Yeah, it's very good. How can service provider integrate this uh, platform with their existing system? So you see, it's a very, very good question because uh, most of our service providers will have their own existing systems. They will have uh, multiple platforms that are functioning and connecting with the applications to the end users, correct? So how this new systems that we are talking about can fit into their ecosystem?
Yeah, so the integration is very simple. We have our SDKs which sits on their front end applications which reads data. That data is pushed into our data processor, and which powers the entire EngageX model. So from an integration standpoint, it's very easy. It's simple line of code which gets integrated with your front end application, for that matter.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, good to know that. Uh, and maybe related question next. How long does it take to integrate this? Clint, maybe I can take this question. See, integration depends on multiple factors. Time to integrate that is again, related to what is the ecosystem, what are the things that are available. So if you take in any scenario where data is existing, uh, you know, they already have collected the data, you have already segmented it, or you need to, uh, even if you have unstructured data. So typically, what all we have to do is take those data, uh, segment it or structure it, and profile to the end users, and then deliver it to the end users. So typically, it will not take much time to do so. While in other side, if you see, if it's a green field where you don't have data coming from, you don't have any sort of data, then we need to build a system first to collect those data. So it will touch upon multiple, ecosystem points, and then collects those data and then process it and then finally deliver it. So it may take a little longer than that. Yeah. Good. Uh, let's move on to next question, which is very, very, very critical. It's interesting, and yeah. So lot of people would like to know who owns the data. So you have a platform, you are giving that platform, you have built that platform, you are processing it, you are structuring it. Then as a solution provider, you are retaining that data, or who is basically fundamental owner of that data?
Yeah, that's a very interesting point and very important also. See, in other cases, what you're seeing, the data is actually stored and managed by the various competitors which are there in the market. In our case, is very different. I'll rally back to the same point, right? This is a private deployment, so all the instances which are running, it's your own as a customer. So the data also which comes in and flows into the system is completely owned by you. So the ownership of that data is on the customer side. We as EngageX will only massage that data, process that data, and help you get that information for you to make decisions for those user engagements. But the ownership of the data completely lies with the customer.
Great, Clint. It's time to wipe. I'm already started getting engagement notice from my home. Come home soon, otherwise you will miss the dinner. So probably it's time to conclude. So what we understood from this is, um, there is a very, very effective way of engaging with the end users, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you bring in data, there are various tools which are available to structure it, profile it, personalize it, and uh, make it more effective for businesses to target, whether it's related to content, whether it's related to any specific plans, subscription plans, or you want to onboard users, you want to retain it, or any other form of connecting with your own users, bringing stickiness to it is something is very capable at this time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that note, I like to thank everyone who joined this session with us. It's great to have you here. And I like to mention this: we can meet face to face at IBC. We are there at booth B33 in Hall 1. We love to have you there, talk more about it, show you in real time how does it work. Uh, so great. And uh, thank you, Clint, for your insight. And thank you, everyone, for joining this session with us.
Thanks. The pleasure was all mine. It was very interesting conversations. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you.